Are Falcons fans ready to watch a competent offense? It's been a while. Kyle Shanahan's been gone for quite some time. The Atlanta Falcons last season, I'll just quote my guy Warren Sharp here. Quotes, there was not a team more frustrating to watch last season than the Atlanta Falcons, unquote. If you have listened to this podcast during the last NFL season, my hatred of Arthur Smith is very well known. I will rip into him more when we get to the Steelers. This ain't his part of the show right now. 7-10 last year with, outside of maybe the Patriots and Jets, the worst quarterbacking that you could possibly see. They have nowhere to go but up. They're going to be actually competent on offense this year. And yet somehow they were only 2 games out of winning the division last season. So I will ask you, is it more likely that the Atlanta Falcons make the Super Bowl or miss the playoffs altogether?
I'd say it's more possible for them to make the Super Bowl than miss the playoffs. That's for sure. For sure.
Completely agree. Although I will say, as I'm looking at this team, don't they just scream number 1 seed in the NFC, losing the divisional round to the 5 seed?
Yeah.
Like, lose to whoever doesn't win the NFC North.
Yeah.
That's kind of the vibes I get from them a little bit. But I started with this. I kind of stepped on my first question. Are Falcons fans ready to watch a competent offense? It's been a while. Kyle Shanahan's been gone for quite some time. And I think they're about to see that level of offense again with Zach Robinson, Kirk Cousins, and all the weapons they've had all this time are finally going to get used.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you really do. You kind of have to ask that question since that Kyle Shanahan stint. What was it, 2018? I believe the Falcons were in the Super Bowl.
I'll never forget it.
You know, hey, I have to forget it. I actually got too drunk and, or I would say, I got a little too faded or whatever you want to say. And I said, Falcons got that. So woke up the next morning, Sports Center, how the Falcons lost the Super Bowl. Like, what? The Falcons lost the Super Bowl? They didn't say the Patriots won. They said how the Falcons lost. So that's what, that seeing that for Atlanta was just so painful. And after that, not getting back to that offense, that they
were never the same again.
Matt Ryan looked like a shell of himself. Julio Jones was just wasting time. So at this point, for Atlanta offense to be, like you said, competent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, actually have their stuff together is going to be exciting for the Atlanta Falcons fans. And I said this earlier to one of my friends earlier, that if Raheem Morris, can he kind of pull the DeMeco Ryan thing, that what he did in Houston, obviously, what he pulled off in Houston. Now, Raheem Morris has already been a coach before.
A lot more experience than DeMeco, but I do see what you're saying.
Right. So can he unlock that? Like, all right, now I'm going to let everybody do their job as coaches, and I'm going to do my job to get the best out of their players, so AKA Dan Campbell, AKA Antonio Pierce, where's Raheem Morris's mindset? What's his plan? Like, I feel like he's a politician himself, and he's got to have a plan ready to roll to go, because you can't go in this season and expect that you're going to do the same thing you did, which granted, I don't think Raheem Morris, what was his last time he was a head coach?
In Tampa Bay, got to be 2015, 16, because I think Josh Freeman was his quarterback that year.
Yeah.
That was a while ago.
I think going against Glennon as that
was quite a time ago.
So I don't really give him that. Like, I don't give him a knock on that. So I'm going to give him, this time he has that second opportunity to actually prove himself. And I just believe, second time around, that plenty of coaches have gotten fired and been in the position Raheem Morris has been in, like Bill Belichick, Pete Carroll, Tony Dungy. I can name a few. The list keeps going on, So I think for him, he's going to have to exactly, when I say D'Amico Ryan, I mean that by literally controlling what you're good at, your specialty. So just focus on defense and let somebody like, I forgot the offensive coordinator's name
for Houston or for Atlanta?
For Houston.
Bobby Slowick.
Bobby Slowick, who's already looking like, he's about to be there. So he needs to let Zach Robinson
leave him alone.
Leave him alone. Exactly. So I hope for Atlanta, the fan base, they can see that coming their way. So
we'll get back to the offense in a second. I'm really happy you brought up Raheem Morris because I kept thinking about this when everyone was upset at the Penix pick and they didn't do enough to add to the defense. Something tells me Raheem Morris was in the meeting rooms like, yo, I got this. We got plenty. Don't you worry about me. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. You get what you need. Like, if you look back at that Rams defense last year, outside of, arguably the best defensive player to ever live, they weren't really stuffed with all pros on that side of the ball, but they were getting maximum performance every single week. And now we're going to get to see, is that because you had Aaron Donald getting triple teamed every play? Or is that more scheme related things that you're going to be able to implement on that side of the ball? But I think Raheem Morris, the best sign that I got before him getting this job was I always believe, regardless of field, the respect of your peers speaks volumes. And every time an NFL coach was asked, who's the best coach that's not a head coach, Raheem Morris was always the answer. Always. Mike Tomlin, Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, all the top coaches that we all respect, all had the same answer. Raheem Morris, I have no idea why he's not a coach. Every single time. It was the moment he gets his shot again, you all are going to see. And now he has his shot. He has the offense that he's not dealing with, all due respect, Josh Freeman at the other quarterback right now. And he's going to be able to piece this defense together. So I really have high hopes for this Falcons team. I don't think they'll end up being the best team in the NFC because there's teams we're going to cover later in my previews when we get to the NFC West and the NFC North. But they're definitely not going to be 7-10 like we saw last year. And back to the competent offense, outside of just competency, I really want to drive it into Falcons fans' heads how different Zach Robinson's philosophy is than Arthur Smith's is. Arthur Smith is Mr. I'm not going to spam my best targets. Fuck you and your fantasy league. I don't care who you drafted. I'm going to run my offense the way I want to run it. To the point, the 2023 Atlanta Falcons only had one receiver that had more than 30 targets last year, and that was Drake London.
Yeah.
One receiver. The 2023 Rams had 4 of them, including Puka Nacua, who had 160, was tied for the 6th in the league. And then Cooper Kupp was hurt last year, still had 95. And the year they went to the Super Bowl, he had the Triple Crown. He led the league in targets. That Rams offensive staff are buddy ball All-Americans. They spam their best targets. That is what they are here to do. They keep it real simple. They're like, who's our best player? Great. Get him the ball. They
really do.
They keep it real simple.
That's crazy how they do it, because like from noticing that everybody's picking either from Sean McVay or Kyle Shanahan, you pick them. Like it's either or out of their system. That says a lot too about those coaches as well, that they can produce coaching talent. Forget talent on the field, coaching talent. And I do want to say something too on what you said about the peers of Raheem Morris, which is good because the NFL is totally different than the NBA. But if I see Doc Rivers get another damn head coaching job, I'm telling you, my guy, I am going to lose it. I'm going to lose it, all right? That's it. I'll leave that alone, okay?
when we get to the NBA previews, I'm gonna do an over/under as to when Doc Rivers is gonna be no longer the Bucks head coach.
Yeah, well,
I don't think there's
go away.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's a single way that he finishes the season with the Bucks. But this is not an NBA podcast. We will get there when we get there.
Fact.
So we got competent offense. We got Raheem Morris. We were talking about over/unders just now. And I might be alone on this island, and that's fine if I am. How long until we see Michael Penix?
Look, Kirk Cousins is coming off an Achilles injury, right?
At 35 years old.
At 35 years old. So I'm leaning on that. Only health. That's it. Everything else, Kirk Cousins has got. But my one thing I want to make sure that I'd say Michael Penix. All right, I'm going to answer your question first. If I just had to say week 10, week 9, right around that area.
I had 8 to 9. So okay, we're aligned on this. I had 8 to 9.
Yeah. I only said 10 because I feel like there's like 20 weeks. I just
yeah.
I believe that it'll take time. I mean, Kirk Cousins, did he right away get along with Justin Jefferson and just, do his thing, or did it take time for him to get chemistry?
Kirk Cousins is another buddy ball All-American. If you are the number one target on your team, Kirk Cousins is getting you the ball. Pierre Garçon, Stephon Diggs, and/or Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson was gone. Jordan Addison was getting all the targets. You're getting the ball if you're Kirk Cousins' best targets.
Right. And I feel weird on this. I only think Michael Penix Jr. is going to get in, obviously, just because of Kirk Cousins getting hurt. But I don't think it'll be like his leg or something. I feel like it's going to be his hand,
a shoulder,
something else, right?
A neck,
a neck, or maybe it's one of those injuries where he's like thinking about his Achilles side of his leg too much, and then he leaves his other leg abandoned. Like where it's possible to get injured more because he's not stretching it, or something like that. So Kirk Cousins is too much of a vet for him to get benched, in my opinion, and that. I don't know why. He's one of those guys that you just got to keep him around. And then he has to be in sync with his wideouts and the O-line. So I definitely want to see how Zach Robinson is going to get the best out of Kirk Cousins. I mean, Kirk Cousins gives me Dak Prescott vibes when it comes to regular season play because he can get the job done. I ain't worried about that. But what I'm worried about is when the pressure is really, really on. Not like I'm going to put on this chain and have a Monday game against the whack team I beat, that you should have beat. Mm-hmm. So, don't give me any of that. But in order for Kirk Cousins or for Michael Penix Jr. in that aspect to get that playing time, I do just think Kurt's going to have to get injured. And because Penix to me has his arm talent is just
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. And I mean, I don't think that with Zach Robinson's offense. So I don't know if Michael Penix Jr. is ready for checks and all the other stuff that goes into actual veteran quarterback motion. So I think if you treat Michael Penix Jr. like Tua, Brock, and CJ Stroud, without the deep play actions where he's kind of more in the pocket. So it almost would have to be like a pistol formation because he's not mobile. He
doesn't like scrambling.
Thank you.
He doesn't like to do it.
Yes, this guy ran a 4.4 in high school. So I just wanted to put that out there for everybody who doesn't think that this guy can move.
He ran a 4.5 at his pro day. He just doesn't scramble. He just doesn't like doing it.
With how many knee injuries? 3?
Like 2, 3? He just doesn't like doing it.
Yeah.
For good reason.
I looked at him way before when he was at Indiana. And when I just saw his arm talent, I was like, oh, this guy, if he gets him, that's an
NFL quarterback. That's NFL throws.
It's an NFL quarterback. Yes. So I just think, that's how it's going to roll. And then once Zach Robinson gets him, I think defenses are going to be freaking scared in the NFC South, because now it's like, wait, what? Michael, he's not ready, but Zach's not going to mess him up he's not going to hurt Michael Penix Jr. Like,
he's not going to Zach Wilson him and give him more on his plate than he can handle as a rookie. And you hit on a lot of the things that I wanted to get to. I just wanted to add some more backing stats for it.
Yeah.
66 different quarterbacks started an NFL game last year. So statistically speaking, every team played a little over 2 quarterbacks last year. So the injury point is kind of statistical inevitability, but that's not even where I was going with it at first. I am probably president of the Michael Penix fan club for someone who doesn't live in the greater Washington area or has the last name Penix. Like, coming out the draft, if this draft did not have Caleb Williams in it, I thought he was the most talented thrower of the football, including the quarterback that is currently on my Patriots, Drake May. You watch Michael Penix throw the ball and you're just like, oh my God. Like, yes. If you're listening to this, leave a like and then go on YouTube and look up Michael Penix every throw versus Oregon. Your jaw's going to drop.
Yes.
And the way players work, let's say the Falcons are squeaking out wins, but it's a 20-17, 14-10. They're barely scraping these wins out. Meanwhile, Michael Penix and his rocket arm are lighting up the defense day in and day out in practice. Eventually, Jesse Bates and them are going to go to Raheem Morris and say, hey, man, man, we're going to have to put the kid in. And the last thing, you brought up Zach Robinson. Who's making those Matt Stafford type throws in Zach Robinson's offense? Is it Kirk Cousins or is it Michael Penix?
Definitely Penix Jr., man.
He's proven leader. Everyone at Washington that played with him worships the ground he walks on. And he cool as a fan, calm under pressure, reads all the defenses. There's not a single thing that I'm rehashing my draft profile thing, but whatever, I'm here already. There's not a single thing that people were able to give me a counter when I was talking about my Penix love all draft season outside of injuries.
Yep.
And the quarterback ahead of him just is 35 coming off of Achilles. So if that's your only argument against him, then here we are. Last point before we move off the Falcons. Last Penix point. And Bomani Jones said this, and I was so mad I didn't think about this first. When it was the week of the Penix draft, when the sky is falling, how could the Falcons do this, blah, 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 blah. Let's say Michael Penix is as good as I think he is, potential to be a superstar quarterback, all pro Bowl level player. And you had the chance to draft him and you didn't because you had Kirk Cousins at age 35 coming off an Achilles. How much are you kicking yourself in 3 years if you passed up on that opportunity?
Oh, you're definitely kicking yourself.
So once you put it in those terms, I was like, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Like, the future is the future when it comes to just thinking of everything. I mean, I have to give, I think I've said this. I do have my podcast as well. Y'all can call that at the Main Radio podcast. Shout out
Radio
for Michael Penix Jr. and how the Atlanta Falcons are doing it. I'm glad Arthur Smith, your boy, is out of there, and they are bringing in Zach Robinson. And I looked up these stats on with the receivers, and the one thing I wanted you to see is that Matthew Stafford with his tight end Higsby, he had 47 catches to his 70 targets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Pitts had 53 catches to 90 targets with Tyler Heineke and Riddler throwing to him. Do you know what it's going to be like now?
My only hesitation with Kyle Pitts is I've been burned by him in fantasy so many times. I don't want to do it again.
I mean, come on now. I played corner in high school, so that's as far as I got. Did a little coaching in college for UTSA, and that's about it. But I'll say one thing as a corner. I remember it took me forever to get to a point where I was like, you know what? The only person that's going to beat me, the receiver is not good enough. The quarterback has to be good enough in order to beat me.
That's a great point.
So over time, I had to study to like, I can't just bait everybody no more. So I think that Kyle Pitts, like I said, like Tyler Heineke and Riddler, like, who are you? You expect your fantasy points to come off of that?
Fair point.
So,
last question on the Falcons. It is the day after the Super Bowl.
All right, let's go ahead.
The headline of the Atlanta Falcons season is what?
Darn it, Bears. You should have got this guy.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Wow. I don't think anything could have prepared me for that. I'm not going to hold you. Woo. Oh, my God. I don't know how I'm going to top that. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins is the 2024 Alex Smith to Michael Penix's Patrick Mahomes.
Ooh.
So that's the one thing I will stamp. Kirk Cousins will not be the starting quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons in 2025.
Yeah.
I will bet my right ear on that one. Like Kirk Cousins will be in some other team's uniform for 2025, and Michael Penix will be the starter.
I got to give you that one. That was a great one. I love that headline. That's so true. Yeah.
Off the top rope with the Caleb Williams slander. Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
I was not prepared. The people's elbow on Caleb Williams. I was not ready for that.